Welcome to the channel. Today we will learn a lot about the word. Normally, when the descendants of Adam and Eve are mentioned, the first thing that comes to mind is the story of Cain and Abel. However, many often forget other biblical accounts that describe the other sons and daughters of Adam and Eve. In this video, I will specifically focus on the daughters of Adam and Eve. Who were these daughters and how many existed? Using sources such as the Book of Jubilees, the Holy Bible, and ancient traditions, I will explore and discuss the history of these daughters of Adam. Therefore, if this topic piques your interest, don't hesitate to give it a like and leave your comment. Follow me to see this additional content. The untold story of the daughters of Adam and Eve is a rarely discussed topic that often goes unnoticed by theologians, scholars, and even those curious about the Holy Scriptures. The mystery surrounding the daughters of Adam and Eve is generally ignored. People read the Bible and focus on the better-known sons of Adam and Eve: Cain, the firstborn, and Abel, the second. However, they often forget that Adam and Eve had many daughters, as the biblical text in Genesis chapter 5, verses 4 and 5, reveals intriguing information about the sons and daughters of Adam. The text mentions that after fathering Seth, Adam lived for 800 years, during which he fathered sons and daughters, totaling 930 years of life until his death. The Bible does not provide the names of the daughters of Adam and Eve, but other texts from ancient Jewish traditions specify some of their names. Based on the Book of Jubilees, I will mention the names of some of the daughters of Adam and Eve, according to these ancient Jewish traditions that offer information about these lesser-explored figures. For those who are not familiar, the Book of Jubilees is also known as the Little Genesis, due to its connection with the word jubilee, which means joy. It is part of the Apocrypha of the Old Testament and narrates the creation of the world, the formation of Adam and Eve after the fall, and tells stories of various characters from the Old Testament, mainly from the book of Genesis. Although it is not a recent text, the oldest manuscript we have access to dates approximately to 700 BC. However, this manuscript is a copy of an even older work. Some scholars associate the Book of Jubilees with the Book of Chronicles, suggesting that the scribe Ezra could have written the text. However, the Book of Jubilees claims that its true author was Moses, who received a revelation from an angel on Mount Sinai. It is worth noting that the Bible mentions that Moses spent 40 days and 40 nights on Mount Sinai, without eating or drinking water, in the presence of God. Historically, due to the antiquity of the text, we cannot rule out the possibility that Moses was the real author. The Book of Jubilees enjoys significant presence in Israeli culture, with various copies distributed among the people. Furthermore, it mentions another mysterious apocryphal book, the Book of Enoch, which was widely known to the early Christians and even part of the biblical canon used by them. This underscores the importance of not discarding the Book of Jubilees, as it contains events that align with the stories of the Bible. Now, returning to Adam and Eve, according to various ancient Semitic Abrahamic traditions, the first daughter of Adam and Eve was named Aven. Aven, in Phoenician Hebrew, means power or simply vice. She was therefore the wife and sister of Cain, who was also a son of Adam and Eve. According to the Book of Jubilees, she bore children to Cain, and one of these children was named Enoch. The construction of a city that bears the name of his son is mentioned in the Bible as one of Cain's achievements after his exile due to the murder of Abel. The city was called Enoch, in honor of his son. The name Aven is mentioned in the Book of Jubilees and other Abrahamic texts. However, in some of these texts, such as the Book of Treasures, she is called Kelima. Therefore, Kelima was the wife of Cain and the first daughter of Adam and Eve, according to these traditions. According to various ancient Semitic traditions, the second daughter of Adam and Eve was Aklima. Aklima was the wife of Seth, the third son of Adam and Eve, born after Abel's death. The name Seth has etymological roots in Hebrew, and its meaning may be associated with the idea of compensation or substitution. This is relevant because, after Abel's murder by his brother Cain, Adam and Eve considered Seth as a divine compensation for the loss of Abel. He is seen as a just and pious descendant, and it is to his lineage that the biblical narrative attributes the continuity of the human race. It suggests that humanity continues worshiping God. Additionally, Seth's genealogy is significant in the Bible because it leads to Noah, who played a crucial role in the story of the flood and the survival of humanity. Thus, Seth and his wife Ashur were a link in the genealogical chain that connects the creation of humanity with later events and important figures in Judeo-Christian tradition. The Book of Jubilees presents an interesting detail by stating that Ashur was initially Abel's wife and was widowed after his death. After Seth came of age, he married Ashur, and from their union descended Seth's lineage. Seth himself became the initial patriarch of this lineage. The Book of Jubilees informs us that Ashur was born in the 6th week of the 4th Jubilee and married her brother Seth in the 5th week of the 5th Jubilee. In the 4th year of the 6th week, she gave birth to a son and named him Enosh. Later, when Enosh grew up, he married in the 3rd week of the 7th Jubilee to Nu, who was his sister and also the daughter of Seth and Ashur. Enosh is one of Seth and Ashur's children, and is known for his pious ancestry and devotion to worshiping God. The main reference to Enosh in the Bible is in Genesis 5 verses 6 to 11, which describes his genealogy as follows. Seth lived 105 years and begot Enosh. After he begot Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. Enosh lived 90 years and begot Cainan. After he begot Cainan, Enosh lived 815 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. The main characteristic attributed to Enosh is his practice of prayer and the invocation of God's name. The following verse in Genesis 4 verse 26 says, Then men began to call on the name of the Lord. This passage suggests that Enosh played an important role in promoting worship and devotion to God in his time, marking a period of spiritual and religious seeking among Seth's descendants. So, according to the ancient Book of Jubilees and Semitic Jewish tradition, Cain married his sister Avan and gave rise to Cain's lineage. Seth, on the other hand, married his sister Ashur and originated Seth's lineage. You may have wondered how many sons and daughters Adam and Eve had. The biblical text indicates that they had many sons and daughters, especially considering that Adam lived more than 800 years. In fact, Adam and Eve were the most fertile humans of their time. Eve, as the first woman, was extremely fertile, and Adam was also very fertile. Therefore, according to these ancient traditions, they had hundreds and hundreds of sons and daughters throughout their lives. In modern times, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, the woman who held the record for the highest number of children in human history, as far as we know, was Valentina Vasilyev. According to reports, she died at the age of 76, leaving behind 69 surviving children, and only 2 died at an early age. According to Guinness World Records, Valentina Vasilyev experienced a total of 27 pregnancies, resulting in 16 pairs of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets. While there are other reports of women with 50 or even 60 children, Valentina Vasilyev remains the recognized record holder. However, what I want to highlight is that Eve surpassed all these women in fertility, as she is considered the most fertile woman in human history. So if a woman today, or even 100 years ago, could give birth to about 69 children, we can only imagine what Eve achieved, who lived much longer, reaching the impressive age of 900 years according to biblical narrative. Additionally, according to tradition, Adam and Eve had numerous children, estimated at around 70 or even more according to some speculations. Considering their robust health, strength, and fertility, as well as the context of the time that favored procreation, it is possible that they had hundreds of sons and daughters. In the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 1, it is mentioned that as Adam's descendants multiplied on the earth, many beautiful daughters were born. A lesser-mentioned curiosity is that both the sons and daughters of Adam and Eve had their own ethnic ancestry, as Adam and Eve were originally of mixed race. This contributed to the ethnic diversity of humanity, which, while exhibiting numerous ethnicities and races, all share a common origin in Adam and Eve. The study of mitochondrial DNA, known as mitochondrial Eve, reinforces this idea, indicating that all humanity shares a common ancestry despite the ethnic and racial diversity we see in the world today. Therefore, mitochondrial genetic studies revealed that all people descend from the same woman, contributing to the richness of ethnic and racial diversity in our world, all sharing a common connection with our ancestors. So, did you know the story of Adam and Eve's daughters? Feel free to leave your comments. Also, feel free to suggest new topics or characters from the scriptures you would like to see in a video. Thank you very much for watching up to this point. See you soon. God bless.